got married there because outside of a Catholic church, it's the most Italian place you could have.
That's beautiful.
I don't want a Catholic church, so.
My mom had the audacity. I don't know if I feel like I told you this before, Nina. My mom had the audacity, like, after I was like, no, I don't want to get married in the Catholic Church because a lot of them are kind of ugly. She was like, well, what was the whole point of you getting confirmed then? And I'm like, because you made me. My mom told me that if I didn't get confirmed, my grandma was gonna die, which is a cool thing. I mean, she did, but like later, and it had nothing to do with the confirmation thing.
We don't know that.
No.
I mean, yeah, that might have been the start of the decline, honestly. Okay, we're gonna get started in I think about like 5 minutes, because people are now showing up. Yeah.
Nice to see you, Dave.
Hello, good to see you as well. What are you eating, Nina?
Just a pretzel.
Did you make it or did you buy it?
It's like a potato.
My husband's mom brought it to him at his work.
Oh, that's nice.
So this is a third-hand pretzel.
Wow.
That's a lot of touching.
Yeah.
Sisterhood of the traveling pretzel.
Mm.
I forget, is Matthew your brother? No, that's not.
No, he's my friend.
Hi, yeah. Hi, Matt.
Full glasses, Matthew.
Yeah.
Oh, I just got your text being like, wait, there's a passcode now.
You said that?
I literally was like, it can't be as simple as just typing in okay, so like, oh, yep, and there it is.
I keep it pretty so. Here's the thing: is that the first ever Zoom show that I did was severely Zoom bombed, like just very, very scarily, honestly. It was like my first Zoom show, and my roommates were all like gathered around the TV to watch, and all of a sudden it's like people saying racial slurs, and then there's hentai everywhere. I'm like, this isn't how I wanted it to be! So, yeah, I try to avoid that, because it scared me.
Yeah. Sounds like a nightmare.
It was.
The future is so much different than it looked in cartoons when I was a kid.
Yeah, there's not nearly enough, like cartoon porn as, the Jetsons may have predicted.
So,
Yeah, there's...
Jets would have been a lot better with racial slurs, though. I'm not gonna lie.
You know, just to hammer it in, like, yeah.
You know, Mr. Space, like, he dropped a few N-bombs when he went. Like, that dude, he was racist as fuck. He just knew he
Yeah,
was.
that's an old operating system. That's just...
Him and Cogswell Cogs, you know, fucking, there was some anti-Semitism behind closed doors.
I have like a second to go grab like milk and cookies, right?
Oh yeah, you for sure. You're good. You're good. Don't worry. I
That's
have.
classy.
It's Santa.
No, no.
Santa is
Oh.
I
You do
like have cookies every night. It's important to me.
look, routines in these times very important.
What an endearing quality in a person. I like to have milk and cookies every night.
Yeah,
That's...
I'm looking up now. What's your fourth fuck? Anyway, sorry.
Why did my mom send me this?
That's a question we all have.
That's a book.
Yeah.
That's a
Oh. I mean, sure. No, it looks like it is vaccine appointments. I don't know why she thinks that I am necessarily eligible for one.
So is that a thing? Am I supposed to be offended when people assume that you got a pre-existing? You're for sure. You're eligible. Like I'm starting to feel a little bit hurt by that.
My understanding, you can roll up down. You may not even be on the tiers or whatever, but if the place allows walk-ups, you can get your vaccine.
Oh, I mean, I have an appointment for like a different. Hang on, I gotta holler at my roommates really quick.
Go for it. Holler.
Okay. Guys, it's not letting me let you in.
I mentioned food without talking about the milk and cookie choice.
Okay. I'm
It's not letting me
use
let you
maple leaf cookies from Trader Joe's right now. They're like a sandwich style cookie with maple stuff in the middle.
Oh, it's a cream. It's not like so it's like a white in the middle.
I'm great
It's a
at it.
maple cream filling.
Okay. Cereal.
Yeah, it sounds like a cereal, but it's what I'm really into right now.
Trader Joe's makes 3 sizes of boxes, and 2 of them look like they can hold cereal.
This one's not a traditional cereal box. The size is smaller.
Ooh, those are
Do you
good.
do traditional milk?
I do have traditional milk. Full fat. Milk like a monster, you know.
Sounds delicious. Yeah, I was gonna just jumping back to what I was talking about. By the way, those cookies look very good. I saw them at Trader Joe's recently, and very close to buying them. So.
Once I got them, I need to have some every night, which is a problem. But you want to see the cookie up close?
Ooh, yes, you gotta do the like the fashion guru like.
It won't do it justice.
Ooh,
That's a big cookie.
It's a big cookie. A tasty cookie. I was gonna say that, in terms of the pre-existing conditions, I think my mom sent it to me because she was probably like, "Hey, your BMI qualifies you for this," which is.
That's what I feel like I'm getting most of the time.
It's
It's either the BMI or it's like you do something that is throwing the skin off.
You're giving me big kidney disease vibes.
Yeah, it's a real organ failure energy you got.
Yeah. What was that?
BMI again?
Body mass index.
That's.
Do you have?
I could ask
Do you
that
have time?
question the same way you did. Oh, that would be.
And I'm wearing these non-airbrave cookies. So there you go.
Ooh, nice.
We're crazy.
Go Leafs.
It's just me.
Okay, folks.
Great.
We're gonna get started. I am streaming to Twitch. I am streaming to YouTube. We'll see who joins us, but it don't matter because it's gonna be fun. All right. Hello, my name is Adriana McCain, and at this point, I'm willing to take the Johnson & Johnson vaccine. I just want to kiss again. Welcome to OK So Lake! Folks, this is going to be a great show today. Happy Friday. I was going to say as always, but this show is bi-weekly currently because life is hard, and I'm pretty bad at producing shows. I also think that my camera's pretty smudgy right now, and I've got a very ethereal glow going on, and it just kind of feels very Madonna music video, but with much less tight pants. So that's fine, that's cool, that's good. We're gonna just go ahead and jump straight into the news. I hope you're ready. Alrighty. That's right. My guests don't probably. Well, Nina's been on the show before, but my guests are like, "Wait a minute, she's still talking? Oh no!" All right. College basketball saw a major upset today after number 2 team Ohio State was knocked out of the championship tournament by 15th seed Oral Roberts. Oral. A Texas waxwork exhibit has had to remove their likeness of Donald Trump after too many visitors kept punching it. And Jesus Christ, look at it. Oh my God, it's so, it's awful. It's horrendous. Wait a minute, I'm getting a text. Okay, that's actually before any of the damage was incurred. My bad.
looks like he knows you're gonna punch him too.
Oh yeah.
Good. Stay fucking frosty, Donnie.
Oh, this is
The White House has confirmed that President Biden is doing fine after he tripped over the steps to Air Force One, not once, not twice, but 3 times. That's a text that I would probably expect from my mom about my grandmother, not about the President of the United States.
Oh, jeez.
Listen, when we were asking for stability, we meant in the guy's ankles, not just the country. Dr. Oz will be taking over as a guest host for Jeopardy, making it the first time the show has been fact-checked in real time. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, the newest Marvel show, premiered at midnight on Disney Plus and is anticipated to have the biggest premiere of any American military propaganda to date. And that is what's in the news. I'm very, very happy that those jokes went over okay. I wrote them an hour and a half before the show started. Again, I'm great at this. But enough bragging about me. Folks, any of you eagle-eyed viewers out there will notice that I am, unfortunately, without my emotional support ding-dongs. Both Ruben and Austin couldn't make it tonight because they don't love me anymore, and it's fine. I'm going to learn to move on. I am strong. I've been listening to Believe by Cher on repeat, and I will be, I think, okay. But until then, because I can't, go on without speaking to a man, especially in a comedy setting, we're going to have our newest correspondent, Mean Dave. Mean Dave, how's it going?
going great. I actually have on good word that Austin and Ruben are both frequenting massage parlors to show support.
That's beautiful.
Out there.
That's a great way to go out and support.
Hey, you gotta let people know. Put your money back into the community, and that's a good way to do it. So.
Yes, I completely agree. I think that's a great way. Some people donate money. Some people walk elderly grandmothers through the streets of Oakland. And some people...
You hear this coming a mile away. It's a happy end.
There we go. We're gonna get canceled. It's fine.
We got 9 people. I don't know. Let's see.
That's true, but some of these fuckers are gonna run their mouths, get me canceled on bacon. That's fine.
I have say over that.
Oh, hell yeah. And that's why I booked MC. Don't tell her that. No, I mean, I feel like to get canceled on bacon, that involves people actually knowing who you are. And I make it a point just to not ever interact to anything on bacon, so...
You know what's weird? What's funny about Bacon, for those who don't know, it's Bay Area Comedy Network. I think that's, like 53 people. Like, what are you talking about Bacon for?
Mm.
But no, it's a Facebook group that's well known to our local comedians, and it's been fairly quiet for a long time. It's kind of like Mount what is it, Mount St. Helens, because there would be an eruption every once in a while, and you'd have fun watching it. And it's basically like text version of World Star Hip Hop between morons, and you just do paragraphs, and a lot of people who don't read the paragraphs because there'll be motherfuckers arguing who are agreeing. You don't even know if they ain't reading each other's comments.
I mean, it's because a lot of the people that comment on that cannot read.
Yeah, and the source usually is some motherfucker that I happen to know that only goes to like one open mic in Fremont. And this is like some dude who just has to comment on, overcompensate for not doing much comedy.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's so strange because usually the culprits are always, and then also a lot of the ones that tend to do stuff, they tend to like think that I'm their buddy. They're like, oh, Mean Dave's cool. He knows whatever, like, cause he starts shit with everybody. I'm like, huh?
No, Mean Dave starts shit with everybody, and that includes you. That includes sorry, you're not exempt from that. Yeah, I will say though that it is so, as somebody who's just like, I'm not gonna get involved. Why would I?
You had a post. You made a post, not in bacon, but you had a call out of outdoor show people. I remember in it was like it was at the beginning of the year, and the thing that made me crack up is you were calling out if you're doing outdoor shows right now, whatever, and like all the outdoor shows, everybody was shut down.
That's not. Listen though, that's not true. Is because there was one comic who shall not be named because why give them the satisfaction of having their name in my mouth, but I was just really incensed by it because it was like treated like this thing where it was like we're standing up and like up for the community, we're standing up for freedom of speech, and the we're protesting against the lockdown. I'm like, I did not think that you were the stupidest person that I've ever shared an online space with before. I certainly do now. It was great. I really fucking hope I'm blocked, but again, that involves people knowing who I am, which is.
It was just one of those things because I was unaware of that at the time, and then I had to figure something out. I'm like, oh, I think that person was running an underground show or something. I don't know everything. I just thought it was great. And the funny thing about it was half the people who liked it were doing outdoor shows at that time. So that's why I love the hypocrisy of it.
My favorite thing too was like the people who like saw it who were like, oh my god, Adriana's yelling. Somebody did something bad.
That's great. I love seeing it.
Oh yeah, it's great. It's great. When chill people lose their shit, it's the best. Not just me. But Nina has said, if you are blocked on Bacon, how will you not be booked on all male shows? That's a great point, Nina. That's a great point. It's very hard to, I don't know where the fuck I was going with that, but yes, it's devastating to lose out on that opportunity that was not offered in the first place. Dave, do you have a quick review of any things that you've seen recently before we go ahead and move on with our regular scheduled programming?
I want to just compliment you on your news of the college basketball thing just because the word oral was in one of the teams. You literally just said the game and then you said oral. And you moved on. I just thought that was one of the sweetest little moments in sports newscasting I've ever seen.
Thank you.
I'm on cloud 9 right now. I can tell because I've accidentally bit the inside of my mouth like 5 times in the last 3 hours because I'm on comic book movie overload. I got to see both the Justice League Snyder cut. I've watched it 3 times in the last since it's been released, which is a whole 12 hours. It's half a day I've spent kind of watching it. It's just been on. Back up. And then Falcon and the Winter Soldier, as you mentioned earlier. You want to know what's interesting about that? I'm sure involved in the military. It's all intertwined. It's all who knows who owns what.
Yeah, you can find a hidden Mickey on a gun if you look close enough.
Yeah, it's all there. But I'm on. Yeah, I'm just on cloud 9 from comic book. Because we've had a whole year of no MCU, which is the whole reason why anybody would be excited by anything from Zack Snyder. That's because everybody's been all they do is complain about Zack Snyder for years,
right?
And all it took was Joss Whedon mucking up the last one of the movies he was supposed to do. Why? Because poor Zack Snyder's daughter, committed suicide, and Warner Brothers doesn't have a heart, so they were like, "Hey, Joss Whedon, finish it up and add some punchlines to this movie." And it didn't turn out that great. I didn't think it was that bad, but definitely we've been I want to say we've been suffering from Stockholm syndrome for this last year that people actually wanted a 4-hour Snyder movie, and it's not that bad. I enjoyed it very
There we go. And the Snyder cut is the one before they CGI'd all the buttholes out, correct?
I didn't know anything about buttholes, but maybe. I just know there's a lot of CG in there. There's more than there was in the. There's just a lot less. It's more. there's a lot more backstory. It's a lot of slow motion because he's into his slow motion,
Mm-hmm.
and
That's why the movie's 4 hours long, is because half of
you
it's
can watch
slow
it in
mo.
installments. There's chapters and all that kind of shit. But like I said, I've just this is just something I've been looking forward to because there's nothing to look fucking forward to. And like I look forward to that in Melvin's concerts, and
Mm-hmm.
COVID took away both of those. And but now we're back in somewhat of a swing. So I mean, and oh yeah, I got to do a show on St. Patrick's Day,
Mm-hmm.
and it wasn't insane. I thought I was going to be performing to a bunch of crazy drunk Irish people. It was at a German restaurant, so there was a lot of order, law and order.
There we go. I saw FC wanted to say something.
Yeah, FC.
Just if you're a movie fan, Adrian, I just want to let you know that hour 3, there's a good slow-mo of a Siamese cat's butthole.
Ooh, okay, that is the content I was.
TV, but I watch computer, and we know they're safe. Let's not lie anymore. We stop lying about that. No one's cool who doesn't watch TV. They are psychotic. Because that is the best form of avoiding life right now. I remember I was such a reader as a kid, and then once I figured out TV, because it got good the past some years, it's like, oh, I don't know how to read anymore. I find other ways to dissociate. You know what I mean? You all know what I mean. Anyway, I didn't think that I would miss being ghosted. You guys remember that? We don't even get a chance anymore. What happened to the old days, right? I actually had an odd experience that I haven't quite processed. I was parking my car near my building yesterday, and I parked, and then I noticed this car was slowing down, and I was like, oh, this car probably is gonna be like, oh, you're parked in my face or something, you know? And so I waited for them to come down. They rolled down their window, and it was this guy, and he was like, hey. And I was like, hey. And he's like, can I holler at you? And I was like, no, thank you. And he was like, okay. He just drove off in his car, and literally the most pleasant holler I've ever experienced. Exactly. It's consent to holler, and I really enjoyed it. I was charmed, you know what I mean? And I'm not saying this is the way that it all needs to progress, you know? I don't know that this is necessarily the future of catcalls, and I say that because the delightful part of that interaction was not just him asking to holler, it was me saying, no, thank you, and him smiling and saying, okay, instead of calling me a dumb bitch, you know what I mean? And so I was like, oh, wow, if guys can't do that, this is pretty good. But I kind of feel angry because he kind of tricked me, because once someone has asked you to holler, they have, in execution, hollered. The holler has been done once you've asked to holler. But I almost wish that I had said yes, you know, but yes, please. And then he had to pause, create his holler, you know, and be like, yo ass is fine. And then to complete the holler, he'd obviously have to drive off into the distance, right? Because a full holler doesn't involve stopping and having a conversation after that. You know what I mean? Anyway, I think about that every minute, you know? And a part of me is like, maybe I should have been a bitch. Be like, can you holler at me? Do you mean, may you holler at me? This could be difficult for no reason. Anyway, that was delightful. It makes me hopeful for our future, I guess. I don't know what the future looks like. We've been doing some outdoor shows, once in a while, which is cool, but it's a little nerve-wracking, because I'm like, oh, I don't know how to move and hold the microphone anymore, and people are like, don't worry, it's like riding a bike. But I didn't learn how to ride a bike till I was 28, 3 years ago. The reason is my dad had a weird way of teaching us how to ride the bike as kids. The way he taught us to ride the bike was by stabilizing us on the bike, by holding us by the neck. I know, and at 6 or 7 years old, I was just too turned on. You know what I'm talking about?
No.
Anyway, I never learned until a few years ago. Still with my dad. Just kidding. It's not with my dad. Yeah, my family's wacky. My brother learned how to ride a bike. Well, okay, I have to tell you guys something weird about my brother. My brother, I'm not saying that he's in a manic episode. I am saying he lost $20K on GameStop and bought a Tesla and is living in the Tesla. That's all I'm saying, okay? We're not jumping to any conclusions, but I know that all sounds like that is the crazy part, But that's not the crazy part. The crazy part was a conversation I had with him over the phone. And he was like, oh yeah, like, I think dating's gonna be great. I'm gonna get so many chicks now. Like, I'll post a picture of my Tesla on my Tinder. And it's wild to me that my brother doesn't understand that, like, the same woman who's stoked that you have a Tesla is going to be really unstoked that you don't have an apartment. You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't understand how the Venn diagram works at all. He's like, yeah, it's going to work out. I'm like, when are you going to tell them that you don't live in an apartment? He's like, I don't know, like a weekend. I don't know what he expects to happen. A weekend. He's such a sweet boy. Such a dumb, sweet boy. God, I just want to bash on my brother. I don't need to. He's going to have a hard enough life as it is. My mom is from Peru. She didn't immigrate to the country to have her child live in a car, you know? And then the Tesla does not help. It doesn't make it any better. Except for, okay, I don't know if I want to say this, he just got a job at Tesla. He just got a job at Tesla, and he's like, this is great, Natasha. I'm living in my Tesla. I'm going to work at Tesla. I interviewed for the job in my Tesla. Anyway, so life's, I guess, going good for Sean. I don't know. My family's odd. My mother is from Peru, obviously Catholic. My father is from South Africa, Jewish. When they got married, my mom converted to Judaism for him. And then when they divorced, she pretended it never happened. That's what you can do with religion, you guys. It's a sham. All right. It's a shame. I love being Jewish, though. The lack of commitment to the religion just baked up into the name. You know what I mean? I'm Jewish. I love being Jewish because it's basically being a practicing atheist, which in my experience is very easy to practice, right? You just pull out your phone, you check out your Tinder matches, and you're like, oh yeah, there's no God here. Right? And doing the Zoom dating, which, to be honest, is like not much worse than the normal dating. Anyone who's complaining about Zoom dating should have been complaining about before dating too, because they work in different ways, but at least this one I don't have to leave my house, you know? I was Zoom dating this fella, and you know how it is, like, you only see this much of each other, you know, in Zoom calls for a while, even though we're on the app, so he knows, like, my body stats or whatever, but, like, we had a call where I walked further away from the camera, and he saw my whole body, and he was like, whoa, you're really small. And I was like, yeah, I'm pretty small. I'm like 5'3", like 110 pounds. I'm very small. And he was like, I could fit you in a carry-on suitcase. And I was like, yeah, I guess you probably could. And he was like, I'm so sorry. That sounded so fucked up. That sounded like I wanted to chop your body into pieces and stuff it in a carry-on suitcase. And I was like, yeah, that's really fucked up. But in my head, I was like, oh my god, he wants to travel with me. He wants to make me his baggage. And that's the messed up part about being a woman, you know what I mean? Because we always got travel on the brain, but men always got murder on the mind. Am I right, Ben? No? Men, we don't murder anymore in 2021? Okay, my bad. New year, new us. Dating has been fine. I got broken up with before quarantine. I bet he feels so dumb, okay? Because he's just at home with his cool dick, and I'm here with my cool this thing that I made yesterday. It's just a bright light thing. It doesn't matter. It's not a joke. I just need you to know about this and how proud I am of it. That's really the whole point. It's my first time getting to use this as a background. I need everyone to acknowledge it. Good. We've done it. We've acknowledged it. You guys in therapy? Anyone in therapy? Just me? Yeah, anyone on Lexapro? Is that just me? It's not 2021 if you're not on Lexapro, you guys, okay? Get. No one's medicated. All right, well, let me tell you about appointments with my therapist and psychiatrist, since you will be able to live vicariously through me. My therapist recently told me I need to stop manically dating. And I was just like, if I'm not manically dating, how do you, the therapist, make an income? Like, this isn't correct. This is a closed loop situation here, you know what I mean? Like, big Tinders being supported by big therapists. That's exactly how it's working. My psychiatrist is a different guy named Jeff, and Jeff made me realize how conflict avoidant men are. Like, men not the ones here, but generally are so conflict avoidant. Jeff said to me, "Hey, Natasha, I'm thinking that you might not be so unipolar." And I was like, "Jeff, are you making me do a fucking math problem to get my diagnosis? Like, is that what's happening here? Are you like a troll under a bridge and you're like, I got 4 roosters in one hand and 3 jelly beans in the other, and do the math, man. You're bipolar." Anyways, I don't see Jeff anymore because get the diagnosis you want, not the diagnosis you need. And I just want a therapist to tell me I'm hot. Anyways, I've been Natasha Vinik. Thank you so much.
Everybody give it up for Natasha! Woo! Natasha, I just want to let you know, I did not want to interrupt your set, but I am on Zoloft.
Oh, you're on Zoloft.
I'm on Zoloft. I'm not on, I couldn't say that I was on Lexapro because that's not true.
That's fair. I haven't even tried Zoloft.
It is cool. It's real neat. I'm actually getting my dosage increased, which is great for me, except for sex stuff, but it's not happening. I'm really lucky because it was like my first one that I tried, and it like worked off like right off the bat. What a gift.
Convenient. That's great.
It's great. I mean, I don't know if you experienced this when you like first went on antidepressants, but like once you realized that it had kicked in, like were you like, oh my god, like I'm sad, but like a normal amount?
Yeah, well, honestly, so what they started me off with was something called Wellbutrin, which is very activating. And so for the first time in my life, I felt active anger about things because I suppressed that because I wasn't allowed to have that in my family, only my mom was. And so, like, it was weird me getting, like, upset about everything, but it was kind of cool. I'm like, wow, this is pretty liberating.
Yeah, it's a good feeling.
The self-righteous anger made me not want to kill myself, so really it was golden. It was perfectly calibrated for me.
Yes, that's the best. That's the best of, like, wait a minute, I'm experiencing this emotion, but I don't want to end it all right now.
And that's really the goal.
That is what Jeff and Dr. Ditter got into this business for. Just a fact. Natasha, I ask everybody that comes onto my show the first question, because I actually don't think I asked you a question yet. Roll back the tapes. How are you doing right now?
Why would you ask that question? That's not a question we're allowed to ask anymore. We're supposed to just ask, what have you been watching? And we go from there. I'm actually doing COVID okay. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Okay, I'm gonna be honest. Like, my therapist says I'm one of her few patients who's doing better in COVID than before.
Wow.
I'm not saying I like COVID, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Not saying I like the global pandemic where how a million people have died, but I am saying that I am doing better emotionally, spiritually, physically than I ever have done in my life.
I mean,
you know what I mean?
Being a year in, I think that's incredibly impressive.
Thank you. It's no feat. My therapist just says that it turns out that I like love myself enough, and that my problem is other people.
Other people do suck, so I totally get it. And you seem pretty cool, so like, there you go. Yeah, I do, like, I slightly resent the people who are like, oh, I'm like thriving right now. Like,
I'm not thriving.
Okay, good.
I'm doing better than I ever have. And that's like a really low bar.
It's like, okay, baseline here, better than it's just like notch over, like, okay.
I brush my teeth every day, like that's a big deal for me.
Hey, if you have any tips and tricks, I would love to know them, but,
I use those floss sticks now. I have floss. I never used to floss regularly. The floss sticks, even though they're terrible for the environment, okay, but, like, it makes it more accessible to do the flossing, so I hate the whole floss around the finger business, you know what I mean? Like, that is, I don't like it.
Yeah, it's like, I didn't need to do a craft in order to get dental hygiene okay.
And, like, choke out my fingers, like, I don't want to do that, you know?
Yeah, because of course you're gonna get, like, frustrated hitting those molars, and the next thing you know, like, the tips of your fingers are all purple.
It's too messy.
Fuck that noise. Fuck that. Well, I'm glad that you're doing COVID okay. I like that you have to make the distinction because Yeah.
And I just want it on the record that I'm not saying the global pandemic is good.
And the record shall reflect that.
On the record, and I'm not doing like Jeff Bezos good. I'm not making any more money. I just like being alone.
Yes. Yeah, I think it's really funny because when this first started, I know that there were a lot of like I'm sure you probably saw the like meltdown of other comedians that were like, what do I do now? What do I do now? I'm like, do you not have any other hobbies? Because I've got a shit ton.
I mean, I did feel that way in the beginning, big time. Well, I felt the pressure that I feel like happened the first month when people are like, this isn't going to be for long, so you have to really take this opportunity to do better work and to like practice doing your craft and to make things happen. And so I felt that stress of this opportunity, which was an opportunity of the global pandemic that lasted a year. So like I felt a little stressed around that. And, but then other than that, it's like, yeah, I bought a sewing machine for 4 times the price of sewing machines because all the sewing machines were getting sold so people could make masks. I didn't want to make masks. I made a wedding dress for a cat. Cry or tease,
Beautiful. How did it turn out?
In the house. It was delightful. It was charming. I don't think the cat cared for it, but that's not the.
That's okay. My best friend told me yesterday that she tried to make a balaclava out of a sock for her cat.
Balaclava?
Yeah, like a ski mask.
Oh, fancy word.
Yeah, I know. I'm like, okay, maybe this is like what needs to happen is cat fashion.
Yeah.
Are we far enough into the pandemic where cat fashion can be a thing?
Yeah. 100%.
I love that. Are you into like other crafts, or is like sewing just the thing that you do?
Well, I mean, I buy things and I'm like, this is the thing I'm gonna do, and then I don't do it anymore. You know what I mean? I got weirdly into plants in COVID. I never liked plants before, and now I just like have lots of plants, and I like have a rule now that I can only check on plants on Wednesdays and Sundays because every day I want to check on all the plants and like rearrange the plants and repot the plants, and so only Wednesdays and Sundays are plant days for me now. Big deal, it's on the calendar.
Ooh. You've got a proper schedule. That's.
I have to have a schedule.
Yeah. It's all about routine in these times, so yes. I completely understand. That's great. Do you have like any like winners out of your any plants that you've been like, okay, this is a dark horse favorite, like that you didn't expect to enjoy?
Yes. I really want to grab it and show it to you. It's called a bear's paw, and it grows these little things that look like little like bear paws, and they're really soft, and so I love to just like touch them. They're like furry, and it grows like a lot of little tiny bear paws out of it. That one I've come to love as if it's my own child. I kissed it today.
Oh, romance.
The first time I just gave it like a little, like it was so cute. It was so cute.
It's so sweet. Oh my gosh.
And maybe I'm spending too much time alone. You're right. I don't know.
What is too much time? What is that's weird to do to a plant? Like.
Yeah, I don't know.
Everything's so subjective.
Exactly.
Really.
Complain.
Exactly. Natasha, you have fantastic hair. That's actually all I have to say about it. No. So I think for most people with curly hair, you go on a very like scary hair journey. Care to share your scary hair journey?
It's not easy. But nobody said it was easy. But also nobody said it would be this hard, right? So I straightened my hair my whole life because my mother also has curly hair and always straightened her hair her whole life because she didn't know any other way until maybe 3 or 4 years ago, where I found that every time I'd straighten it, I feel like and this sounds very like self-helpy, but every time I'd straighten it, I felt like I was somehow sending a message to myself that I hated myself. You know what I mean? Because you're like changing this thing actively, and you're watching yourself do it for like 1 to 2 hours, depending on how much hair you have. And I'm like, oh, that feels bad. Let me just like get used to it curly. So I didn't know how to dry it, so I'd sit in front of. I had a space heater. So I just sit in front of the space heater to let it like dry my hair because I didn't know about diffusers or any other option. I guess it's not so bad a journey because here I am now, and I really like my hair. But on the way, it was a lot of work.
Mhm.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's I didn't do straightening stuff because I've got a lot of hair and I am very lazy. So, didn't do a lot of it, but like, yeah, there's that period where you're like, okay, I should probably do something about this, like actively trying to work on making my hair better. Where it's just mess the entire time. Mess.
I hear you on the lazy thing. The one pro of straightening your hair, for those of you who don't know, is that you know exactly what your hair is going to look like, and you can wear it for a week, maybe 2 weeks, depending on how dry your scalp is. Mine is very dry, where like you know what it's going to look like every single day. And with curly hair, it is just a mystery. Every day can look totally different, you know. And so it's like a trade-off. A trade-off.
It is. It is. But the cool thing is that like strangers ask you like, "Oh, did you like? Is that natural?" And you get to say yes.
Does that happen to you a lot? Everyone's like,
Is that natural? Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think some people must expect that it's like a perm because I guess I look like a time traveler from 1983. But I guess that's good that you definitely don't.
I mean, but they don't ask me if it's natural, but that'd be nice if they did. Cause that means they're so like in shock by its existence, you know? They're just like, oh, cool hair. And then in my head, I'm like, oh, my only value is my hair. I can't cut my hair, or people won't think I'm good anymore.
No. Well, Natasha, I think that you are not just good. I think you're great. And I really appreciate the time that you've spent with us. Is there anything that you would like to plug as we're wrapping up?
If you enjoy dumb stuff, please enjoy my Twitter or my TikTok or my Instagram. They're all at Natasha Vinik too.
Guys, give it up for Natasha. That was fantastic. Please check out her TikToks. They are very funny.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for being on the show. I really appreciate it. All right, everybody, one last time for Natasha. It's a small audience, but we are mighty, and it's not small, it's intimate. That actually is grosser. I apologize. Folks, we're going to go ahead and move on to our next comedian. She is a returner. Ooh. She's a very funny gal. She's also an author. Can you believe it? We've got a person that wrote a real book. It is called Stutterer Interrupted. And I believe you can purchase it on any very, 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 very large online retailer, and hopefully some smaller ones too. Everybody, please put your sweet little hands together for Nina G.
I couldn't find my book, but I have a cake copy that, you were dissing on Hayward earlier. All of you. But this is from the Cupcake Shop in Hayward. Wonderful work. They also did this. It's the cupcake from Cabin Boy that I have back here. I'm sure none of you know that, but it's very cool. I have it. Anyway, this is my book. It's the top of my book. So there you go. Okay. Anyway, it's not off to a good start, but that's all right. Hello, everybody. I am the Bay Area's only female stuttering stand-up comic, and in fact, I might be America's only female stuttering stand-up comic. It's nice to be here in a nice audience because I have a YouTube channel. I don't know what your YouTube experiences, but as a female comedian who stutters, oh my god, you have to see the comments on my YouTube channel. Oh my god, the comments. There's things on there like, you should really try weed for that speech problem of yours. Because this would go way better if I were more paranoid. Okay? Especially online. I get very paranoid online. And thirsty. That's the other symptom I get. Most of the comments on YouTube, of course, are, I want to see your boobs, a lot of that. recently, I saw a video, or this guy commented on a video of me doing stand-up, and he wrote, "This is the bravest thing I have ever seen." That's right, the bravest thing this guy's ever seen is me doing stand-up comedy. And I just want to say, in your face, COVID health professionals. That's right, in your face. Because who's brave? Is it people who put their lives on the line to save others? No, it's me. It's me, stuttering dick joke teller. That's who's brave. That's who's brave. I'm Italian American, in case you couldn't tell from the leopard print. And and I'm sure you couldn't tell I'm Italian because I'm educated and my skin is orange. That's not the kinds of Italian that they put on TV. But as a kid, I was very insecure about my nose. I don't know if you can see it right there. Okay, luckily I have a filter on my Zoom. But I told my mom as a kid, I said, "Mom, I think I have a big nose." And she told me this: "You don't have a big nose, you have a small Italian nose." I was like, "Thanks, Mom. Did you tell my brother he has a big dick for a girl?" Because it's about as comforting. It's kind of like that. And Natasha talked about her brother. Let's talk about mine for a second. uh, he is Italian American like me, which means, and he also believes in some conspiracies. He believes that the Earth is flat. But as an Italian American, he also is extremely, extremely upset that Columbus statues are coming down. You can't have both of those things, everybody. I don't know if anybody here studied geology, but you can't have both of those things. And yeah, I know I said geology, but it's geography. But I wanted to prove I was just as dumb as him. So anyway, I don't like, women. We have very inspirational things hanging up around the house, things to inspire us, into uplift us. I have things that speak to me as an Italian American woman, which is why I have a post-it on the dashboard of my car that reads, "Pluck your chin hair like no one's watching." So that inspires. And my chin hair game, it's bad. With the pandemic, I'm not in the car as much, and I just don't have that sunlight to help me keep this smooth. So it's not always good. So for the longest time, I've wondered, what is the difference between an agnostic and an atheist? And I think I finally have it. An agnostic is someone who isn't sure there's a God, and an atheist just won't shut the fuck up. That is the difference. Sorry, Natasha, I don't experience you that way, but most of them I do. And I am Catholic, born and raised. And, with all of the issues that the Catholic Church should be addressing, I'm so glad that they've chosen this. It's this one issue that I see they are addressing now, which is gluten-free communion. That is the one thing that they are starting to address, is gluten-free communion. Out of everything, it's that. And for those of you, and I know there's some Catholics here, the thing is, it's a priest blesses the bread. Okay? And the bread is no longer bread. It is what? The body of Christ. It is that. So to me, once he consecrates the communion and he holds it up and says, "This is the body of Christ," and it's gluten-free, he's basically saying this is the body of Christ, but in case all of this is bullshit, you won't get gas. That is what he's saying. And also, one of the other symptoms of gluten intolerance is depression and anxiety. And to me, if you are a lifelong Catholic and you have depression and anxiety, and you're blaming the communion, that's that seems a little unfair to Brett. Like I'm pretty sure it's the thousands of years of oppression. It could be that. So every man that I've been with, I've asked them what they like in bed. You know, like what do you like? Do you like this touch? Do you like this done? All that. When I've asked what they like to touch, every single man has said one thing, and that is the penis. Like they like things like touched or done to or inserted. Like that's the only answer. It's like no, you don't want like your hair rubbed. You don't like nothing else. Just penis. And women, we're so much more nuanced than that because we might like it's our ear nibbled or our Achilles caressed in the right way or the left nipple on our right boob licked. Like there's so many things that it's very, very unique to each and every one of us. Before the pandemic, I went to the doctors and I got some news. It was my gynecologist, and as she was there checking me out, my legs, they were akimbo. She tells me this: you have a rather long vagina. And when she said it, I knew it was true because her voice softly echoed. It was like ba 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 die 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 no no no. It was like a prayer to the goddess Mother Gaia. It was just beautiful. And I want to be very clear here, not a big vagina, a long vagina, okay? And I hope you really get like the special effect here. A long vagina. Because it wasn't like a 6-lane bus terminal kind of vagina. It was like a single lane car lane that weaves through a Swiss Alps because European cars are so small and tight. And it weaves through Swiss Alps and then empties into an Italian villa. Okay? It was that kind of long vagina. Okay? It's like the Panama Canal. Okay? It was like that. The Panama Canal is a new tag. I don't know for what it's from. Anyway. Okay. The thing is, it's our bodies as women. They are so, they are a serious thing. I mean, this is like we discover things about us all the time. I mean, I am 47 years old, and I'm still finding things to be insecure about. Okay, like that is the mystery of being the whole woman. And finally, when I got out of my doctor's appointment, I called my mom. I don't get a headache, and I told her, I said, Mom, the doctor said I have a long vagina. And knowing what she said about my nose when I was 12, I don't know why I would tell her this. But my mom continued on to say, I wonder who you got that from. Apparently my mom is very petite vagina and blames my long vagina on my dad. And with that, I thank you all. And I'm giving it back to Kiana. Thank you.
Guys, give it up for Nina!
Yeah.
Yay! Mean Dave just wrote a very nasty little chat, which he said Nina's Underground Railroad.
If I could contribute to people finding their freedom, then go for it.
That's beautiful.
I would say I would give myself in that way, yes.
That's the power of the vagina, and it needs to be celebrated. That's such a funny. The echo bit is just. That's such a funny joke. I also really love that you're like, well, I don't know if this tag works. I'm like, there's 4 people watching. You can say that.
I'll try it out 5 times and then say, you know what, fuck that, it doesn't work.
Yeah.
So we'll see. But
yeah.
the North Star. FC is paying better than the North Star. You know, all of these might work, and that is the thing about comedy is that you just like extend and extend and extend, and then you find out that none of it works if you stutter too much on your tags. So that's why it's all gonna.
Yeah. That, and you know what? I don't know if that's covered in the ADA, but it absolutely should be. I think that it needs.
People should be forced to laugh at my jokes, even if they lose interest in stutter. I think that should be a right that I have, a civil right.
That is called equality, and that's what we will be preaching on this show this evening. It's about equality. Nina, thank you first off, thank you very much for doing the show again. I'm always very flattered when people return. I'm like, the last time wasn't traumatizing enough. Better luck next time. Hooray. No, but thank you. I think you were on, I want to say like my first or second show. What was that?
I think it was the first
one. No, because that was, let me see, that was Becca Henry, and yeah, I don't think you were on that one. I think you were on the one, you might have been on the one after that. But yeah, no, you were like here in the beginning, and so thank you very much. You're a foundational member, and I appreciate it. Please wait for your pin to come in the mail. But you know, same deal applies. This is probably the last time that you were here, unless I didn't come up with this bit back then. But how are you doing right now?
I got my second vaccine on St. Patrick's Day.
That's right. Yes.
So I'm almost there.
That's great. What flavor did you get?
I want to say Pixar. Which one is it?
Pfizer?
Yeah, that one. Yeah.
Pixar.
And that's the joy of the dyslexia. Is it looks the same. So I keep saying Pixar. And I got it at the Coliseum in Oakland.
Ooh.
And I got it on the day that a bunch of teachers from Walnut Creek came. And like I wasn't one of them. I actually live in Oakland, so I feel like I should get in there.
Mm-hmm.
But it was the first time so many white people came to Oakland from across the tunnel to get drugs in East Oakland. It hasn't been like that in the 90s. So there's a lot of that in the 90s. So hopefully they all went to Starbucks and got a drink and added to the economy.
Oh yes, to great, really contributing to you know, local business Starbucks. Yeah, nature's
Progressive choices after the vaccination.
Look, they are. I'm assuming a lot of white teachers from Walnut Creek. They probably went to Starbucks. I think that's, you know, I don't know if East Oakland's gotten really gentrified enough, you know, this time. So, you know, better luck next time, white people. Huh? No. Yeah. Can't hit up that gentrified coffee shop if it's not there just yet. Not just yet. That's great. I'm so happy to hear that you are vaccinated. That is fantastic. Nina, I would love to know, first off, what do you think was the album that you listened to the most when you were in high school? Let's talk music. One more time?
Emo Phillips. Here, let me show you something.
Please. Let me entertain the masses. Hello.
Okay.
How's it going? Okay, there we go. Perfect.
Do you know who Emo is?
I do. He's a funny man with a funny haircut, correct?
Yeah. So that was like my favorite album. And then I got this in the 8th grade when I wrote to him, because I wrote, it's the first fan letter that I ever wrote was to him, and I got this autographed picture that now hangs in my kitchen.
Oh, that's so sweet. were you, I mean, are you a big fan letter writer?
Well, this was the 80s.
Okay.
So, like, it's not like tweeting happened or anything like that. But I wrote him, and I wrote to Mike Myers, I have his autograph underneath you in this book, which, like, fuck him now. But Emos is still cool.
What's wrong with... I have missed the Mike Myers has been canceled train. What's the...
No, so he's not, because he's canceled. To me, he took Dr. Evil's okay, so Dr. Evil was based on Dana Carvey's impression of Lauren Michaels. And because Dana Carvey was the original and was funnier and from the Bay Area, he deserves all the credit on that, and you don't steal that from the guy who you did Wayne's World with. So, like, that's why I'm angry at him. But nonetheless, Dana Carvey and Mike Myers are still doing Wayne's World after all of these years. So, I mean, I'm holding the grudge where Dana Carvey does not.
Yes, and I think that is it's good to hear that they are still working together, because man, I got kind of nervous there. I didn't realize. I knew that Dr. Evil was based on Lorne Michaels, but I didn't realize that it was Dana Carvey's impersonation. Damn. Wow. You know what? That's the beauty of this show, is just learning. Thank you very much for that. So speaking of, Saturday Night Live, what is like the cast that really like sticks out? Like that's like, what is your cast in your
I
head?
have two casts: the original cast and then the Dana Carvey cast. So those two were mine. And also like Eddie Murphy, but that, like, you don't really count the Lorne Michael years. So even as much as I loved Martin Short, that wasn't the Lorne Michael years. So like, you still kind of take those off. But like Gilda Radner was like one of, like, I when I was 8 years old, I named a pig. I had this like baby, like this. It was a pig with these babies, and I named the mama pig Gilda, and then the other pigs I named like Steve Martin, Dan Aykroyd, and Bill Murray. So for me, Gilda was an important part, and probably like a defining feminine figure in my life.
Yeah, she. I'm young, so there's like a lot of, I know that I really haven't tapped into Gilda Radner's work, but I know that she, like, I've seen old clips of Rosanna from Weekend Update, and
They talk about hair.
yes, this is the hair show. Which actually, I would be remiss if I didn't ask, what do you use for your hair? It's very thick. You got that thick Italian mane,
Yes.
which is, it's not curly like the rest of us, but it's still thick and voluminous, and it deserves recognition. So please, what do you use on your head?
I use Pantene, which like isn't anything fancy. I mean, it's fancy compared to cheap shit that you buy at the store, but it's still cheap shit that you buy. I wash it once a week, which I think helps a lot because it doesn't kill your hair. And also, I get it dyed regularly because once you go gray, it kind of like sticks out like the witch in the Warner Brothers cartoons.
Yeah, I've started to get a couple of grays, or I'm starting to find more grays, and it's like, oh my god, death is coming. But it's good to know that if I dye those, it'll be.
And you can erase that death and then relive your entire aging experience in the next 2 months once the white hair starts to come back. Like right now, you can see it. I was like, oh, this is like when I'm 38. And then you're like, oh, now it's like I'm 43. And now it's like I'm almost 50. Now I'm the same age as Mom,
Oh my God, Nina, thank you so much for being on the show. Do you have anything you would like to plug before I send you back into the ether?
Just buy my book if you can. If not, that's fine too.
Buy her book, guys. It's I still haven't, but I'm sure it's great. And you know what? I will be doing so soon enough. There we go. Guys, give it up. Thank you very much, Nina, for being on the show. You're a delight as always. Anytime you want to talk about Catholic repression, just freaking let me know, because I feel like you and I have a lot to say about it. All right, may the force be with you. Everybody, one more time for Nina G.
Woohoo!
Yay! Folks, we're heading towards the end of our show, and this is usually when I make my pitch for giving us money for paying the comics. But you know what? That stimmy hit my my bank account, so I think I will be okay in terms of giving all of these beautiful people their money, because I value their time, and we live in a capitalist society. But what you could do instead, consider this, is in lieu of making a donation, unless you want to send us money anyway, like, I'm not going to be mad about it, but please donate to Red Canary Song. I'm going to go ahead and post, I'll post a link shortly in the chat. It is a nonprofit organization that works with migrant and Asian sex workers in New York City, works to help them, live, to live and thrive, and anything that might come their way, because as this last week has shown, is that bullshit can be multifaceted and awful, and for folks that are some of the most vulnerable in our community, those of us that are in good positions, we should probably help out, because their reality is not necessarily ours, and so we should just try and get them on equal footing. And if you don't want to do that, then fuck you. Please go ahead. It's called Red Canary Song. Again, I'll go and post a link in the chat. And throw them some money. If you want to give us money, that's cool too, but you do not have to this week. Congratulations. Please donate to people that actually need it. Folks, please, let's get fucking pumped. Let's bring the energy back from up there. All right. Things are awful, but things are great. Okay. Life is complicated and scary, but you know what's great? We know what's excellent. Normally, always, uncomplicatedly, is our next comedian. She's fantastic. She one time made sure that I didn't get stolen in the Mission District of San Francisco. Please give it up for FC Sierra. Oh shit.
Oh, that is all of my face. It was much better when I was seeing just a small snippet. How are you? How is life? I'm just asking either. Anyway, so much is going on in this time, in this life. Everybody's talking about this vaccine. I don't know. You might have noticed I'm a trans woman. I'm a trans person. But mainly, I've been hearing a lot about people talking about they want to get the vaccine. They want to make sure. My girlfriend talks about it all the time. I want to get the vaccine. I just want to see my family again. It's been more than a year. I want to see my family in person, face to face. And I am very similar. I just want to get the vaccine so I can be face to face with someone teaching me how to do makeup. And it won't be until then that everything is complete. So I'm struggling as well. My girlfriend and I, we've been trying to repopulate, go to stores. They're telling us all, you gotta pay back to America. Not every business stops just because COVID happened. So we've been spending gift certificates that we've had. So that's been big. My family still gives me gift certificates. Have them saved over from Christmas. I'm 31. They still give me gift certificates, which basically means like, we know you're poor. we think you buy drugs, and they are right. So we were out spending gift certificates. My girlfriend actually gave me one for a store, so we were at the store shopping for what they sell at the store with the gift certificate. We were out shopping for dildos. I don't know how to talk about this in a more direct way. I don't want you folks to judge. It's for her to use on me. So anyway, so while we were at the store, I was asking the person that was, hey, we want to make sure this thing is clean. How do we make sure we keep this clean and sterile? We want to make sure this thing is, I'm a real neat freak. And she said, no worries. All you got to do, you just grab your dildo, you drop it in a pot of boiling water for 3 minutes, you pull it right out, it's sterile. I was like, what do you mean? She was like, oh, so you get a pot of water, put it on your stove, you get it boiling, you drop it in your... I was like, lady, I have roommates. What am I supposed to do when they show up in the middle of my illicit cook session? I was like, oh, Raul, what's going on? Oh, what are you cooking? It's great in here. Oh, you do not want it? I'm making soup, Raul. I'm making soup. Oh, soup. I love soup. What kind of soup? May I have some? No, you do not want this soup, Raul. You do not like this. It is not keto friendly. Dude, you do not want it. It is soup of me right now. And just don't worry about it. Don't worry about it if you're nervous about that. All you got to do, just put it in the top row of your dishwasher. Put it on the clean. You want to make sure you don't keep it on the bottom because that can melt it. That's a bad situation for everybody. Also, a weird thing I tell a plumber. So, put it in the top rack of your dishwasher, put it in the clean cycle, pop it out, it's sterile. I was like, wait, what did I tell you about my life that made you think that I could have a dedicated dishwasher for this type of I am not putting the inside my body dildos in the same dishwasher that we wash the inside my mouth dildos. That is not the type of household I run. I am not that type of person. But that's just how it's going. Like, there's different things that this pandemic is bringing apart. Like, you appreciate stuff that you didn't know you were gonna appreciate. Like, I went back to a store the other day. I'm in the middle of a clothing store, and I'm alone. All of a sudden, 2 elder women start passing me, and as they pass me, I had a moment that I hadn't experienced in... I don't even remember the last time. They were slowly passing me, and as they were passing me, I heard one of the women let out a wet, loose fart as she passed by me. And you've all farted in the shower. You know that it vaporizes very quickly. It was wet, and it was an immediate smell. But in that moment, I was like, wow, I got to appreciate this. This is a real human moment. Oh, my God, what an honor to be crop-dusted in a Macy's. This is beautiful. Like, this is part of the experience. We're all going through this. So, I can appreciate little parts of it. Seen a lot of TV. In the last year or so. Musicals. I did not know that I liked musicals until now. I think I have to admit it to myself. I've watched probably 1,000 hours worth of musicals this last year. All Hamilton. Oh my God. I don't even like it. It's not good. But I keep on Alexander Hamilton. Oh my God. Because he committed suicide. You didn't know that. You didn't know that about the history, but it's weird, like when you interact with family or stuff like that. Like, I had the whole Zoom Thanksgiving meeting with my family, so we could feel connected. But it wasn't, which was kind of weird because I live like 5 miles away from them. So it's like, how I really just don't want to drive. I drink too many White Claws. I got really into this 10 a.m. White Claw thing in COVID. So you're trying to relate. They're like, oh, what have you been into? So my family is a non-spoiler family. My family, you do not talk about any ending to anything that has happened. And this has been a situation with my family for years. It is on the family crest. You do not spoil shit. It's a weird random crest. but there's corn on it, and so I'm talking. Anyway, the point is I spoiled Hamilton, which is a hard thing because if you didn't know, Hamilton is history. But to my family, that is not. My brother was pissed. He's like, I don't give a shit what the history books say. I want to know that I could see the end of this 2-hour and 43-minute, 22-second. I know the ending. I want to know that I can get there without somebody coming in and telling me what's going to happen. And so, like, this was a situation, like, I ruined it. Like, I said what happened. Like, this is the same thing that happened with Titanic. Like, we're going back, and they know what happened. So, what I'm saying is it's been difficult. I hope that, you could all get back to colored sex workers, in whatever, what's that, the East Coast, Adriana?
Mm.
Yeah, so, I have connections to this. I know quite a few people in the industry. I remember talking, speaking about words, I remember talking with one of my friends, and I was asking her how she, got into journalism. And she said, it was an interesting story. I was working as a prostitute. And I stopped her immediately. I was like, wait, we actually don't say that anymore. We don't call people that. It's 2021, and we call them sex workers now. And she's like, oh, I don't like that. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, not specific enough. I was like, what do you mean? She's like, well, when you say you're a sex worker, that just means you work in the sex industry. It doesn't tell me what you do in the sex industry. You could be an exotic dancer. You could be an escort. You could be someone that's, on the corner giving hand jobs. Crap. You don't know what someone is doing, but the whole point is that if you're not specific enough, you're not going to tell me what you do by that random label. It's like if you go to a doctor, and I was like, wow, that makes so. She was like, if you go to a doctor and they say like, oh, what do you do in the, what do you do as a doctor? Oh, I work in the medical. What do you do in the fucking medical? I sucked in for money. Okay, thank you, doctor. I understand now. You have a Tuesday appointment, and so you get things with the labels, and it makes sense. Another big thing with the TV for us in the last year, because it's been me, my girlfriend, and television, and Winky. She is so mean. She's the mean dog. If you've heard anybody growling behind me, she is our beautiful puppy. She's 3 years old, and she's the meanest old man that ever lived. Anyway, we have gotten really into, gotten deep into the serial killers. I don't know how to talk about this. Gotten really deep into these true crime documentaries. Me and my girlfriend, she's a big true crime person. She's really into it. She's white, and she's really into watching these documentaries. So we've been watching a lot of them. Eventually, you feel kind of bad though about watching all this death. So at some point in the pandemic, my girlfriend and I looked to each other. We said, "Hey, let's start giving back to the world." And so we decided, you know what? Let's get imperfect produce. So we've been doing this thing called Imperfect Produce, which is our grocery service for the last, 9 months, something like that. And if you don't know about Imperfect Produce or businesses like it, it's basically a business that sells you the produce that you can't find at a grocery store for like 70% less money than you would find, just because it's kind of ugly, like it's kind of gross looking or whatever, and they sell it to you for 70% less than it actually is. And I have to tell you right now, it's gross. It's not good fruit. Like, it is really bad. I was sick for a significant portion of time, I think, from E. coli lettuce. But either way, like, you're eating it, and you're like, wow, I feel myself deteriorating, but I feel, the sensation of giving back to the world. Like, I'm making this world a better place as I have this dysentery. And so, like, I owned an avocado for 4 months. Like, I'm not saying, like, I considered it like a future, like the people that bought stop. Like, I had one avocado. I got it one day. It was hard as a rock. I tested it every day like a fucking baby for 4 months. I came back to it one day. It was complete mush. My fingers sunk into it. Like, it is gross fruit. Anyway, but it makes you feel good. You're like, wow, what a good person I am. I'm giving back to this world. I am not eating any vegetables anymore. But still, I am giving back to everybody. By me throwing it out, the grocery stores aren't doing it. And one of the cool things about produce is that they tell you on the website, they will be like, hey, just so you know, and they'll give you like the whole data, because you've been getting these deliveries of imperfect produce by number, you have saved, 300 gallons worth of gasoline that would have been spent to transport this thing to the warehouse. You have, saved this much CO2 that would have gone into the environment. This much water would have been wasted. If you did not buy this awful fruit right now, you would, if you did not have this part of a worm in your apple in your mouth, then this would be and so you feel good about it. And so anyway, me and my girlfriend are watching this documentary on Netflix, and they're talking about Ted Bundy, well-known, awful serial killer murderer, and they have one of these, detectives that worked on the case. So everybody has their murderer. Ted Bundy's my girlfriend's. That's her guy. She grew up in Washington. We have a picture. I don't know if you can see the little, that yellow bug right there. That's Ted Bundy. That's Ted Bundy's bug, right? I don't know if you see it. Anyway, so that's, you get a guy eventually. You're in the area. So she's driven me around there when we visited. It's like, look at that beautiful tree. 3 ladies were found under that tree, butchered by Ted Bundy. I'm like, wow, thank you, babe. What a hometown. And so, anyway, they were talking, and the investigator says Ted Bundy, evil, awful murderer that he was convicted of killing 38 people. It is actually thought of now that Ted Bundy was responsible for 125 deaths. And I heard that, and I was like, are they trying to tell me that Ted Bundy is responsible for saving 3 million gallons worth of gas? Like, I don't know how much, like a lake worth of water, a whole rainforest worth of CO2. What I'm saying is kill a bunch of people, save the rainforest, make a fucking difference, people. Anyways, thank you very much.
Oh my gosh. That's, oh man. Thank you. Everybody give it up for FC. Oh my gosh. FC, that was deranged. I loved it. How are you doing right now?
I am, one of the, I like to drink fine wine. I like to drink the finest wines you could fit into a can. So I'm about 3/4 of a can deep right now. I think that's a glass and a half, according to the side of the cans. So I'm feeling great.
Oh, yes.
More than I should be. This is, I get to see my face just really broad, like the way other people have to see it too. So this is fun.
Oh, it's a great face. Don't worry about it. It's, no, I did see the can that you were drinking from. If you want to show it to the populace, yes, Dark Horse Wine. Sponsor me, Dark Horse, please. I like to call it the BoJack Horseman wine, because it's got a horse in the front.
Oh.
Yeah. Okay. Fun. You're like, great. What is that?
I don't watch that. That's the thing. You have the separated realities now. You go into Netflix and you have your curated existence of this is what people want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
And eventually, mine wasn't about sad, depressed horses.
It just turned
I'm
into
worse off for that. Yeah.
it just turned into serial killers. What do you think is the most overrated serial killer? If you're watching a lot of this, I'm sure you've got an opinion.
She's my girlfriend is a big Ted Bundy. I've always been BTK. Spread the love.
Mm-hmm.
Fan person. And but in general, I think just a whole 2 hours about someone killing a bunch of people is too much every time. Like every time you're just like, I don't like people too, but now it's getting a bit far. I like the cult documentaries probably the most because you can get into a mindset of people. We went 2 Nixium documentaries deep this last fall. Whew. That and then it creates like a whole new world because once we watched 13 hours about a cult, it was like our little cult knowing about it. So it was like our mini Nixium.
Oh.
So well, yeah.
Right down to the branding and everything. Oh, that's
that's I like permanence. That's
yeah, and nothing says permanence like an insane tattoo with no ink.
But it's always like these people were 3 years deep after that, and then they mentioned that they brought the sashes out in the second meeting. Once you have colored sashes, second meeting not as fun. You're like, oh, someone gets even green belt, like karate first lesson, and was like, oh, there's gonna be more of this? I'm good. I don't want to reach expert. I'm okay.
Yeah, no. Once you bust out a colored based system, it's yeah, you're in too deep. That's oh my gosh. What would you say is like the best cult documentary you've watched so far besides the Nexium ones? Because like Nexium, I know you've got the Seduced and you've got the Vow. Okay, sure, but like those notwithstanding,
I like the 9 hour. I think it's Seduced, or is that the Vow? That's the Vow.
The Vow's the one. I heard about. I think it was the Vow that it was like it's just some point it's kind of like the Elisa Lam documentary that's also on Netflix, that it's like we may have reached a certain point in which like there is a story to tell here. Did you feel like that was the case with the Vow?
Oh yeah, what I liked was with any documentary, I like to pick out the people, whether it's true crime or just something happy about children. I like to pick out the enemy first couple minutes. So you pick out who's going to be the bad guy.
Mm-hmm.
Who's going to... This is all going to come around eventually, and someone is going to have to answer for these crimes. Doesn't matter if there's no crimes. It could just be bad coloring. But, you get through it, and then, that's how we establish an enemy, and then we could watch the whole documentary framing that against them. So I was originally against the main dude in the Vow.
Mm-hmm.
Was that one? The Mark guy?
Yeah.
Yeah, like a few minutes in, he's like, oh, I'm a documentary filmmaker, and also I came from Canada to blah, 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 and I call women baby. I was like, not good. This guy's not, this is, and then you spend 8 hours and they're trying to build him up to be kind of like, I didn't commit this. It's basically like an 8-hour alibi. And then the last hour or so, you're just like, I let my wife sleep on her dog bed. Sure, that's, I guess. How could this guy let me do that? This dude had long hair and weird glasses. You can't trust anybody like that. This is not a thing. I meant the hairy cult member guy.
Okay, got it. You're painting people with a bit of a broad brush right now, and usually I'm like, generalizations are not as bad as everybody makes them out to be.
I am fair making blanket statements.
Yeah, no, any man that you see with like long hair and like aviator glasses, is trouble.
But he shaved his beard, so that's like the Jim Jones thing. Mm-hmm. Jim Jones used to be a beard person, then he went down full smooth. That's how he started the cultism. But Keith Raniere already started a beard until people started calling him like messianic, and then he was like, no, I can't talk to the Dalai Lama as much as I want to. He's kind of a weird bad guy. Dalai Lama doesn't come off the best in this whole. He's very PR-friendly Dalai Lama. I did not expect that because the robe is so nice.
That's so wild to me that the Dalai Lama of all this guy that's like earthly possessions are whatever. He's got like just a most killer publicist. That's fucking
in
wild.
the room, like an in-the-room publicist. That's a weird thing for, just anybody that is that close-shaven on their scalp. Generally, like, sure, you get one person that's like to battle the shine in case there's overhead lighting, but you don't bring in a publicist.
Mm-mm. FC, I would love to know. So you mentioned White Claw. What's your go-to flavor? What's the one that you're throwing back? What's the one that you're reaching for in the variety pack?
Lime most refreshing, raspberry. I just like the idea that it's like soda, but instead of energy, I just feel more into yelling at the TV. So, it's just it's a fun thing to go by.
Do you find yourself gravitating just to White Claw, or are you like non-discriminatory towards seltzers that are boozy in general?
I like to find the right balance. If they're telling me they're bringing only the 4%, it's like I'm used to this 5. I'm not sure. If you're telling me 90 calories but 4% instead of 100 calories but 5%, I need to find that balance. I don't want you to add more sugar. You try to add agave syrup or any sort of broken down fruit product, and that thing's gonna get rancid pretty quickly. I'm a person that likes to leave things out, put it back in the fridge, leave it out, put it back in the fridge. I don't know what the fruit that is naturally, decomposing in that can is gonna do. So that's what we have to deal with every time. Also, lime is nice.
Lime is nice. Lime is a very like classy cocktail flavor.
When I don't drink at comedy shows.
Wise.
So, yeah, I'll do seltzer water with a lime. So there's something about having that at home and just having. I'm not going to drink seltzer water with lime at home. That is not going to happen. It's just that ship sailed. But to have the White Claw, I was like, kind of reminds me of the being out at a bar feeling without
Without
the existential sadness that comes with every single moment you're spent around a comedy crowd.
Yes, 100%. Listen, I do kind of miss it. Like, I love not hanging around degenerates all the time. 'Cause I was doing that a lot. Don't know if you were, because the San Francisco, like the Upper Bay Area scene is a little less, what's the word, gross than San Jose. No tea, no shade, but it's fucking nasty down here. And so, I find myself missing it. I don't know about you.
There's, once you gain a level like that patina of scuzz that can't be buffed away, you're just a little bit more into it than other people would ever get to be. But I would say one of the easier things that separated me from the scumbaggery of SF where I started out in my first few years was, or 5, 6, whatever. But, oh God, I've been doing it so long for such little success. So,
it's all about the art.
Yeah, but it was nice that, to start in SF and to be generally off-putting to a lot of people. And so people were just like, I would not want to talk to that person for longer than just introing them. So I didn't have to hang out with too many unsavory characters because they thought I was the unsavory character. Meanwhile, I am cleaning my car, pretty regularly. Not enough. Dave knows.
Yeah, is it ever enough? I'm now thinking about all of the just drinkable yogurt bottles that are currently hanging out on my passenger side.
So, how is drinkable yogurt for you once you find the 3/4 empty one kind of rolling around, and you need something to drink, you have dry mouth, you're in the car, and you see that old yogurt. Are you going for it?
Because I look at that and all I see is just violent diarrhea. Just the most insane shits that are gonna happen. I'm trucking along. I'm like, it's gonna be fine. If this gets that bad, I will stop at a Chevron. I'm not afraid.
Okay. Well, so are you stopping at the Chevron for the bathroom or for the just regular beverage that will quench your thirst?
I mean,
Chicken or the egg?
That's very important. See, here's the thing. How long am I driving? There are parameters that have not been established here. How far am I driving? How far am I to my destination? Is it necessary for me to pull over? Do I have to pee? I probably should. If I'm going to stop to get a beverage, I probably should. Like, you never know when you're going to encounter a bathroom next. And as somebody who's had to pee in a beloved cup because her front tire, like, absolutely disintegrated on 280, like, I know the trials and tribulations of not going pee.
So there's a long descent that happens before your tire obliterates itself.
It's called, I see the problem. If I don't pay attention to it, it won't happen.
I am sitting in a room with that, so I get it.
Yeah, it's not ideal. I love that this has turned into you interviewing me, which is fine. I love attention.
This is one of my true skills in life.
Is turning it around?
I was a kid, so when I was a kid, and I would want to skip school and pretend to be whatever sort of sickness that I watched a lot of TV, even the medical stuff. So I would be able to diagnose myself in a convincing way to my mom. But when we would go to lunch, eventually, once I admitted that I wasn't sick, I would always get a Snapple. Now, on the Snapple cap, I don't know if they still make them the same, the glass bottle with the metal top, they have the Snapple fact on the inside of that.
Yes.
So my mom never remembered that there was a Snapple fact on the inside of that. What I would do is I would drink my Snapple, casually read the Snapple fact, and then I would proceed to try to spend the rest of the meal with my mom, steering the conversation in a way in which I could bring up the Snapple fact in a way that she wouldn't understand, but she would think that I'm really smart because of it. So she's like, oh my god, I didn't understand how many times penguins can flap their wings in a minute. How did you know this? And you're just bringing it up casually? That's amazing. And then I would slowly slide the turned over Snapple cap across the table and present it to her, and then she would lift it up and read it, and she would see that I was controlling this the entire time. And that's my childhood.
Wow, you sounded like a terrifying child, and I respect you all the more for it.
I watched 13 hours on Nixium. Come on. There's flags everywhere for everybody.
Well, you know what? If you start a cult, I am more than happy to join it. I feel pretty directionless, as most people who join cults do. You ever think to yourself how easy it would be for you to join a cult?
So that's been the thing. When me and my girlfriend get in like the little spitty spats back and forth, when we have fun with it, we'll say to each other, you would have been in Nixium. No, you would have gotten into Nixium. No, you would have been taken. They would have gotten you. So it's like you try to establish, and then we actually, one of my girlfriend's friends, we established her earlier, like, oh, that is her. She would have been. Ooh, that's rough. So, just to know and establish the red flags, and how you're going with it is always going to help.
I completely agree. Well, there are no red flags here from me to you. This has been absolutely delightful. Do you have anything you would like to plug before I send you away?
So many things, but let's not.
Perfect. Excellent. Let's keep it simple. Let's keep it short. Let's keep it streamlined. Everybody, one last time, please give it up for FC Sierra! Yay! And I've made your face less big. Never say that I'm not generous. Folks, that's the end of the show. I thank you all very much for sticking with us, hanging out. It's a small crowd, but you know what? I think this has actually been really one of the really fun shows that we've done in a while. So I appreciate you all being here. I will let you enjoy the rest of your Saturday night. Again, if you wanted to throw money our way, that would be cool. But please go ahead and donate to Red Canary Song. Go ahead and support migrant and Asian sex workers in New York City. I wish I'd found something a little more local, but you know what? Anything to help this crappy world that we live in. But thank you so much. We're going to have a great show for you in the next 2 weeks. And if you're like a regular watcher, can you let me know if this bi-weekly thing is doing it for you? Because like I've been thinking about going back to weekly. I don't know. Let me know. That's not a discussion for right now. But until then, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your life. And